Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the FinTech Hunting podcast. We've got a very special guest for you today. He's a FinTech thought leader. He's an expert in mortgage technology, and he is a mortgage retention guru. Please help me welcome Nick Rutherford, VP of Sales and Product at Milo. Nick, welcome to the show.
Michael, thank you so much for having me. It's always great to be on the show. Glad we had a chance to catch up a couple weeks ago, and we can coordinate our schedule to do an episode here.
Yes. So we were both at the New Jersey MBA. I thought they did an excellent job with the conference. You and I had a chance to sit down and catch up on a number of things. So what were some of your key takeaways from the conference?
The conference was great. I mean, everybody that puts those things together, I don't think you realize how hard it is to get all of those people to come, especially when you're talking about a regional conference, right? And you have vendors that I'm not native to New Jersey, right? Luckily I'm in New York, so it isn't too far away. But like a great effort to get people there. There's always great and interesting sessions. The one thing I'd say is I wish people would attend sessions more. The speakers do a really, really great job, and there is a lot going on the periphery, meetings and things like that. But put some time and effort into focusing on the speakers next time you're at any conference, because they do a lot of work to prepare and they have some great content.
I think that's an excellent takeaway. So let's start talking about, in today's market, why is customer retention so important?
Yeah, so customer retention is important. What we focus on at Milo is really kind of up funnel retention. And I think you're seeing this kind of groundswell now that companies are trying to get in front of their clients earlier. They're trying to make sure that they don't miss that transaction, or you don't wait until you get to some of the other great retention tools like credit monitoring, those things, because it can already be too late. So we've really seen an effort from lenders to start getting in front of their clients. And I think there's a couple reasons why that's important right now. And first of all, it's the market, right? We all know the market that we're in. There's less transactions. It's a higher cost to acquire a new client now. So the emphasis on retaining your own clients is so much more important. And I think you're seeing people flock to technology that can help them do that. And that's my reason number two, right? Every lender out there is getting smarter. There are places that you never thought would invest in, our technology here at Milo, some CRM, POS technology. Everybody's running toward the tech side. Everyone's getting smarter. They're getting smarter with how they use this technology. And then, the third thing for me is the technology is getting better. People have been around this industry. They've worked with this technology longer. You have founders like my partner, Andrew, and I, who were on the lending side for a decade apiece. We used some of these technologies. We built them into our systems. And then we said, you know what? We're not seeing what we want out there. Let's go build something that would give us exactly what we would have wanted to buy on the lending side. And I don't think we're unique in that. You're seeing a lot of new founders with really heavy mortgage backgrounds that are building really cool products.
Nick, you brought up a number of very important points. First one, and I think this is a major mindset shift that lenders really have to start embracing, is the battle now is really at the point of thought, not at the point of sale. And to have tools that allow you to stay in front of people and at that point of thought when people are, well, maybe we should move. Maybe we should refi. Maybe we should do something. They're not calling up the lender that day. They're not trying to get a loan that day. But if you're not top of mind with them at that point, then by the time it is point of sale, you've already lost the game. So talk to me about, what is a retention platform? How does that work, and why is that really pushing everything really at that point of thought instead of point of sale?
Yeah, so we're really trying to get ahead of the point of thought at Milo. So what we do, for people who don't know, is we send out these really nice white labeled home value reports to your clients every month. And then we track every interaction with the report, not just requests for information, but we track everything. We integrate fully with your CRM. We'll deliver all of those insights. But what we're really trying to do, the start of our product, is have your past clients associate their next transaction with your brand before they want it. They get something white labeled to your company every month, white labeled to you as a loan officer. If they're ready for a transaction, great. We have a lot of bells and whistles and clicks that they can do to make it known that they're ready for a transaction. But the hope is, especially as you get deeper into our product, it's not brand new, you're not blasting your database for the first time, that month over month, they start seeing this report, they start seeing equity position. And then as they start thinking about maybe doing a transaction, they've seen your brand 3, 4, 5 months in advance, and they're familiar, you're adding value to their journey. So hopefully we get them there before.
Well, and as you talk about a home value report and everything, it's a lot different. I think a lot of times in the past, people just tried to nurture and drip on people, and they sent recipes. They sent them, a quick little birthday notice, and there's nothing wrong with the birthday notice. But I want to know, what are the homes around me selling for? How long were they on the market? Who was the agent who was selling it? So is there someone who's really got a good understanding in my area? So talk to me about some of the things they'll see in the report. And then I think, to your point of seeing that month in, month out, without a hard sales pitch, right? It's something of value. Talk to me a little bit more about what you guys are delivering.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point there. It's like people are interested in this data. Not if they're ready for a transaction, they're interested in this data. So that's why the open rates are so high. They're better than anything else you can send because they're not salesy, they're not pushy, they're just information for everyone that happens to kind of work as a sales tool when people are ready to interact. So some kind of special things about our report is, like, first off, we're going to show 4 values, not just one. So we're going to give you 4 different values. We let your client choose whatever value they think best reflects the value of their home. We feel like that's where a good narrative starts, right? We deliver this report. I think my home is worth X. I see something hopefully that aligns with that thought. I can choose it. We then update all of the math in the report based on the value that they chose. So they have a little bit of control of saying, if my home is worth this, what does my equity position then look like?
Okay.
So you're going to get that value, you're going to get your current loan balance, you're going to get the equity you have in your property, then a ton of interesting things that you can do with it, chances to unlock your equity, what it would look like if you wanted to buy a bigger home using a portion of that equity. And something really cool that we do is we give each lender 2 custom ad spaces within the report. So whatever you want to promote that month, go ahead and do it. You want to promote your brand, you have a niche product, you have a summertime purchase special that you're running. It's a great place to kind of display whatever you'd like about your company that people might not know. They've done one transaction, they might not know your whole product line, they might not know what's new with your company. So use this space that gets opened at a much higher rate than anything else you're going to send out to promote the things that you want to promote within your company.
You talked about integration, whether it's CRM, whether it's LOS. Talk to me a little bit about that and dive a little bit deeper, because the key is you've got to make it seamless for LOs to use, right? There can't be a bunch of friction points. And if you can have this running seamlessly for them, they're going to be much more prone to use it.
As somebody who managed loan officers, we know how hard these guys work. We know how difficult it is to get them to do anything but kind of keep their head down and focus on sales. So if I say, hey, to pick up your Milo alerts, you have to go log into your Milo portal with a password you don't remember or an SSO that doesn't work all that well, go get your alerts and then work them, it's probably not going to happen. Right. So we meet the loan officers where they are. We send the really important stuff via email too, just to make sure there is no miss. But integrating within CRM, you're going to get all of your alerts in real time. You can build custom work queues. You can build automation. You can build multiple follow-up calls, which is important. Just because somebody requested information, they might not be there to pick up the phone when you call them. Build in some follow-up so you don't miss anything. But also something that we do, I think that's pretty cool, is when the report is generated, we generate it on our side. We do it up front. We don't do it when the customer clicks on it. We're pulling all of this rich data, AVMs. We're pulling that loan balance, that equity position. That goes right into your CRM. So for every client you have, you know the value of their home, their new LTV, the equity they have in their property. So you have all of this data that you can use, not associated with the report, right? The report never gets open. It doesn't matter. You still have all of this data that you can do segmented marketing, right? Don't send the same post-fund marketing to everyone. Somebody has 20% LTV or they have $100,000 worth of equity, segment those people differently, send them different messaging that might meet them where they're at a little bit more.
Well, and isn't that really where we're going with true personalization in marketing? Not hello, Nick, or hello, Michael, and wow, that's personal. That's not personalization. But when you can start rattling off their different loan parameters and their different equity position, that shows them that you know what you're talking about and you know my situation. So it can be much more targeted, it can be much more personal. And I think your background of being on the lending side for over a decade and working in the CRMs and working in the marketing side and helping loan officers really gives you a vantage point that a lot of tech providers don't quite have.
I think that's one of our biggest selling points. Not only that my partner Andrew and I are both from mortgage, but we're specifically from this part of mortgage, right? We vetted the technology, we signed the contracts, we did the integration. So we know how all of these systems work. We know how people work within them. We've run the data analytics. So I think that gives us a, kind of an edge in the market when we're talking about these products with people, because we know every single pain point they're going to experience from the first time they talk to us until, the contract is signed and then you start to run the product. And that's, I think, has really resonated with people as we do demos, that like that experience. We're not tech guys. We're not here to disrupt. We're not here to do anything. We're here to fit. We know how our technology fits into core systems. We're an important system. We're not a core system. We're not LOS. We're not CRM. We don't run every single aspect of your company's, kind of day to day. We provide one simple part. So how can we fit into that and add value, integrate seamlessly, know what your role is in this process, and do it really well?
Well, and I think right there at that ending, know what your role is and do it very, very well is, I think, what's really sparked my interest as you and I were talking in New Jersey of saying, you guys are somebody who are committed to doing it right, doing it exceptionally well, and adding value, not trying to conquer the world, but adding value to lenders. In, let's be honest, this is a tough competitive market, and it's only going to get more competitive. Let's talk a little tech, mortgage tech. Let's talk AI. Any viewpoints on AI and kind of its impact or potential impact on the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts a little bit too, because I know that you're kind of an expert in this area. But what you'll either find surprising or not surprising at all. We had met a couple of weeks ago. We talked about one potential use case for AI that Andrew and I were thinking about. Since in the 2-3 weeks since then, we've now discussed 3 more potential uses for AI. So like AI is coming. How it's coming, how each company chooses to use it, I'm not positive that's clearly defined yet. I think the important thing to know on the lending side and on the tech side is you should be thinking about it.
I couldn't agree more. You should be thinking. Right after New Jersey, I was at the gathering in Colorado Springs. There was a great talk from the CTO of UWM, Jason Bresler. And you can tell when a company is actually doing it, living it, breathing it, and they've actually done a ton with AI, that people were quite shocked, like, this wasn't theory. This wasn't... They're using it and they're coming up with a lot of creative ways. So I think, to your point, first and foremost, AI is here. It's not going away. The analogy I always give is it's like the internet. When I got in the business first, only executives at the company had internet access. People are like, oh my God, how old is Hammond? I'm not that old. It wasn't the light bulb or Thomas Edison. But with that, what were the reasons why people weren't given it? Yes, there was some bandwidth costs, but for the most part, it was employees are going to misuse it. They're going to screw around. There's going to be some compliance issues. They're going to share confidential information. That's the same stuff I'm hearing about AI. And I think people that are using that as an excuse are going to get left behind. I see the gap widening with forward-thinking lenders versus the ones that are kind of hoping that this fad's just going to go away, because it can touch every role within your organization, not just a loan officer, not just an underwriter. It can impact accounting. It can impact. So I think lenders that are holding off are going to really be in trouble. And the best way to get started with AI, one of the speakers said, just have your people start playing around with it and have them start getting certifications, whether it's in chat or whether it's in Perplexity. You don't have to try changing everything within your organization, but you have to start embracing AI or you're going to get left behind.
Here's the interesting thing to me. I mean, I couldn't agree more. you know when somebody adopts a technology, right? We love when somebody buys our platform. We have so and so on right now. You start to hear, you know, through the grapevine what people are using and how well they're doing. AI, because of the nature of how kind of newish it is and how you have to train it and how you have to find the correct use cases, all of this stuff is happening behind closed doors. UWM didn't wake up yesterday and go, we're using AI for this. They've probably been developing this for years, and you don't hear about it until it's ready. So to say, you know, maybe Rocket has it or UWM or the huge companies, so many of them are talking about it. And you'll see it a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, and it will be something that will have an impact. You just don't know they're working.
Well, and it's changing so fast and it's developing so rapidly. Like one of the things I keep getting a lot of questions about is, Michael, why is our web traffic down? Why is our web traffic down? And most reports are saying that web traffic is down this year across all industries about 25%. And it's because of AI search. And the projections are it could go down to 50% by the end of next year. Well, I don't care if you don't want to do all kinds of AI and you don't want to do all kinds of operations, but you need to understand how AI search works and how you start showing up in AI search, or you're going to be invisible for most of your prospects.
Yeah, it's funny that like so many companies, I feel like we're just embracing like SEO. Like they were just learning how to do search, and now it's like whatever that work is kind of gone. And maybe that's a perfect, you know, kind of microcosm for this industry and how slow it can move sometimes. Is like a lot of people were just now getting into the thing that companies have been doing forever, and now it's gone.
Right.
You can't wait. Like AI's here forever. It's only going to keep expanding, but it's going to keep changing. You can't wait. The groundwork needs to start being built now. Whether you put 1 million hours or $1 million into it, that's up to you. But like start building the foundation. Because I mean, search, my dad is almost 70 years old. He doesn't use search engines anymore. He uses AI. Like this isn't a young person thing. It's not a Gen Z thing. Like it's easy to use. It's easily accessible. It gives you rich information. ChatGPT is his go-to for any question that he could possibly have.
I love it. And I think that's a perfect example that's where people are going. That's where they're getting their information. And they don't have a bunch of links they have to click. They got their question answered. And if they need a little bit more detail, they ask Chat or they ask Perplexity or they ask Gemini to give them greater detail, and they have it and they move on. So how does your company show up in there? Those are going to be the interesting things. And that's just one small example of AI's impact. You and I could talk about and give about 20 other, 30 other examples of where it's going to start impacting lending. You know, I think people really need to take AI seriously and start leaning into that. But I don't want to get too far off the track. You and I could talk tech and talk AI forever. What's next for Milo? And if people want to find out more about the cool tools that you guys have, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, email nick@mymilo.ai is always good. Find me on LinkedIn, Nick Rutherford. Anywhere you can go to find us, we'll try to meet you there. What's next is such a hard question because I feel like we're always building. It was a commitment that Andrew and I had. Like we weren't going to get stagnant. We saw so many of our favorite technologies get stagnant and they stopped innovating that we're always innovating. We have a brand new report design, like full redesign of what we're doing that's coming out in a couple weeks. We're adding a ton of blog content to kind of up the education to give more value on the page rather than just numbers. It can't all be math. Adding some educational resources. How do you use equity to consolidate debt? How do you use equity to buy an investment property or to remodel your home? Things like that to hopefully keep people coming back, keep them engaging, you know, kind of increase those, intent signals that we're tracking.
Well, I love it. Like I said, you and I could go on and talk forever. It was great seeing you in New Jersey. You are welcome back to the show anytime. You're a wealth of knowledge and expertise. For those of you who are listening, go check out Milo. They've got some incredible tools and solutions that can deliver almost immediate ROI. Find out a way. Point of thought is real. You've got to stay in front of your customers. Nick, I can't thank you enough for being a guest on this episode of the FinTech Hunting Podcast.
Thanks so much, Michael.